Hey, g'day everyone. Welcome back to WickedTunes, where we bring 60s and 70s style music from the bands of the past still making that music, and bands from today making 60 and 70 style music because it seems to be popular with all the the Gen Z kids. Here in Canada, we say Gen Z, and of course the millennials. So, and of course, boomers that still like rock and roll, but whine and bitch about, like, where's the new music? And Gen X, well, you guys are just pretty much cool and quiet. You guys are like that generation just before the greatest World War II generation. You're kind of like nobody knows who you are or anything, but I know who you are because you guys created new wave rock, and I despised new wave at the time. Over the years, I grew to love it, and then I realized, oh, you know what? They were right. But anyway, we used to blame Gen X for disco. So yeah, disco and that new wave with the synthesizers and all that. But I changed my mind on that music. Like I said, I've grown to love it. Soft Sail, and I think that's Tainted Love. I mean, that's I hear that song going, yeah. But I remember at the time going, where the fuck is the Stones or Led Zeppelin? I need some guitar. Anyway, speaking of guitar, we've got a good band. This is quite a jump from the last video, Sheryl Crow, to the other. I'm going to say it right now. Hello, Miss Victoria. I met you on the chat machine there on Jamal, aka Jamal. I was trying to get him a little bit calmer. I don't know him at all, but I mean, I have been watching very carefully with the algorithms, and because I'm retired, I don't work. I'm on disability, so I rigged up my hand with a chainsaw. And then I got before that I got sick, and they said no, you're done working. We can't have that. So, anyways, yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, the algorithms and everything to do with YouTube. Jimmy Dore, Joe Rogan have complained about the same thing. I think that, well, I know from what Jimmy Dore's been saying that YouTube has been prioritizing um, prioritizing like corporate, like, instead of going to real news network, first when you type something in, it'll go to CNN. You see what I mean? And I think it's the same with the music. Now, I don't know if it's YouTube doing it or it's the music companies. Although reaction videos, it doesn't make any sense to me that they have a problem with that, because basically you're promoting their music, and nobody wants to sit and listen to that song with my voice in between, or Jamal's or anybody else's. So you're going to go and put it on your list or download it or buy I guess there's albums again, and buy the album. So you're actually doing them a favor. Okay. And I don't know about the other people, but I don't give bad reviews because I don't listen to bad music. It's just that simple. I only play music that I think people are going to like, and that I think that would make it on the radio back in the 60s and the 70s, because you guys all call that classic rock, right? And maybe I'll do this as a separate video. Classic rock, well, and then you guys, well, not you guys, but I mean, whatever, the music industry, Rolling Stone magazine, which is a joke now. It's been a joke ever since Hunter S. Thompson left there. But lost track what I was saying. I'm smoking purple gelato. It's for some reason it's really hitting me hard today. I don't know why. And I'm only on my second coffee of the day too. That doesn't help. I'm usually up to good 3 or 4. That's about it. All I have all day. I can't drink coffee like I used to. Anyways, okay, I was saying algorithms, the music companies. Oh yeah, so the music companies, it's to their advantage to have these reactions. And like I said, I'm not going to react and tear down a band. I mean, no. I mean, if you listen to a lot of the early Who, the early Stones, Zeppelin before they were recording, and you could hear some bootleg stuff, they were pretty rough, but you knew there was something there. And then, like, after a couple albums, it's like, whoa, like with the Who, there's three. For example, the Who has like 3 different eras, maybe even 4. They have their early 60s era, which was like a lot of Motown stuff and what they used to call mods in England. Then they got into Tommy, Who's Next, and all that, and that was kind of like the rock and hippie crowd and all that. Woodstock, they played that. Okay, and Quadrophenia was part of that. We'll call it, and that music kind of stayed the same until Mooney died in 78. Then they went to an 80s kind of pop thing with the new drummer Kenny Jones in 1980 and 82. They released their last 2 albums as a full unit. Well, then, of course, they broke up, and, so now we're into the 3rd or 4th. Did I say that? Third epic of the Who, and they've done a new album, but now it's just the two of them with the backup players, Zach Starkey, which is Ringo Starr's son, who's a drummer very much like Keith Moon, who was trained by Keith Moon and given his first drum set by Keith Moon. So he has deep roots. And then John Button on bass, who is a younger bass player. He was replaced, originally John Entwistle was replaced by Pino Palladino, which is one of the greatest session players ever done for bass. But his sound is totally different in his style. John Button, on the other hand, is a young bass player, younger, and yeah, he's good. He's really, really good. He sounds like John Entwistle. He's got that big trebly sound, and Pete Townsend says he needs that. Anyways, I'm getting into a Who thing. But there was like these three different eras of the Who. So it's the same thing with what I was saying. Totally lost track of what I was saying. Holy shit. Am I ever a fuck up, guys? Yeah, we were talking about bands. Oh, yeah. So when I do a band, I go listen to it. Like, and this band that we're going to do is a perfect example. That Tura 4 with Dave Hole, and the song is called Going Back to Hoonsville. Okay, and it just came out. I should put that on my phone instead of doing it this way. I figured out a new way. May 13th. So it was one of those Spotify things that popped up. Well, I've already listened to some of their early albums, and we do have some stuff to do with them on the channel. But some of the songs are terrible. But see, I'm not going to do those songs because I'm not going to listen to them. And I'm not going to tell you, well, this is a shitty band because they did 3 shitty songs. Listen, all of the bands, were like that. Right back to when bands started releasing music. There was always duds. There was always bad stuff, but it didn't make the band bad. And believe me, the Stones and the Who and Zeppelin and all those big rock bands, they all had major duds, but what they had good was so good, that of course they're legends. Well, it's the same thing with these young bands. Greta Van Fleet doesn't have every single song they make is a hit or fantastic. Yet look at Greta Van Fleet. I would suggest to you that they're very close to being the top of the rock and roll world. At least in that our style, and our style to me is all that matters. Because you're never going to see me do Beyonce or any of those people. I will do country because country is very, tied into rock and roll. And Victoria suggested this fellow, I got it written down, Randall somebody or another. And of course, I'm going to go do that because it's new. And like I say, country artists are very intertwined with rock and roll artists. That's just to think of the Eagles and Crosby, Stills and Nash. Anyways, I'll stop this and we'll call this just like a, up to date video or whatever. And like I said, I wanted to give a shout out to Miss Victoria. Hello. Thank you for joining. She joined the site and she was there chatting. She must have good eyes because all I can say, Victoria, is you were able to pay attention to that, and me, it's like going. I'm going, holy shit, and that's on a big screen here. So I thought, well, at least I'll have that. No. All right, so I'm going to stop this video. So we'll say it's ending here, okay, for the talking, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm going to start the music video. Is that cool with you guys? Yeah, me too.